The first explosion ripped through the starboard hull like a whisper of apocalypse, silent in the vacuum of space, but deafening in its destruction. Commander Aria Winters gripped the command console, her knuckles white beneath the protective gloves, watching as the alien fleet's energy weapons carved brilliant blue-white scars across the darkness. Humanity had never been the strongest species in the galactic community. We were newcomers, barely 50 years into interstellar travel when the Krell Confederation first approached, not with friendship, but with an ultimatum. Surrender territories. Accept subjugation. Become another footnote in their millennia-long conquest. Nobody expected what happened next. The battleship Resolute wasn't just a vessel. It was a statement etched in titanium and human determination. Designed in the underground shipyards of New Terra, constructed with every resource humanity could muster, it represented something far more powerful than advanced technology. It embodied our collective defiance, our unwillingness to become another conquered civilization. Aria remembered the briefings, the cold statistics. The Krell had conquered over 17 sentient species. Their energy shields could withstand multiple simultaneous nuclear detonations. Their weapons could slice through conventional armor like paper. Every military expert had predicted humanity's defeat would be swift and absolute. But predictions don't account for human ingenuity. They don't calculate the desperate creativity born from knowing everything you love hangs in the balance. The ship's quantum resonance engines hummed beneath her feet, a sound that was part mechanical precision and part living heartbeat. Around her, the bridge crew moved with a synchronicity born of months of relentless training. Each person knew their role. Each understood the stakes. Another volley of energy weapons slammed against the Resolute's adaptive hull. The ship shuddered, but held. Aria allowed herself the briefest moment of a grim smile. The Krell were about to learn a fundamental truth about humanity. We don't just fight. We transform warfare itself. Outside the reinforced viewports, hundreds of alien warships formed a seemingly impenetrable wall of technological might. They had surrounded the Resolute, confident in their overwhelming superiority. They believed this would be another routine subjugation. They were wrong. In that moment, as the first phase of humanity's most critical battle began, Commander Aria Winters knew something the Krell would soon understand. When pushed to the absolute edge of survival, humans don't break. They become something entirely unexpected. 12 hours earlier, the situation had been entirely different. Aria had been reviewing mission logs in her quarters, a small compartment that reflected the utilitarian design of human deep space vessels. Personal photos were digital projections, her parents standing outside their home on New Terra, her younger brother in his engineering academy uniform. Memories that reminded her why they were fighting. The communication that changed everything came as a standard encrypted burst. Most would have missed the subtle anomalies in the transmission, but Aria's background in xenolinguistics made her different. The message wasn't just data. It was a warning. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, head of the Advanced Research Division, had uncovered something in the archaeological sites of the Orient Corridor. Fragments of an ancient technology that predated the Krell Confederation by thousands of years. Something that could potentially shift the entire balance of galactic power. They don't know we've discovered it, Elena had said during their last secure call. Her voice carried a mix of excitement and fear. But they will soon, and when they do, everything changes. The Resolute wasn't just a battleship. It was a carrier of humanity's most dangerous secret. Hidden within its core systems was a dataset that could rewrite everything known about interstellar civilization. The Krell wanted it. Humanity would die before letting them have it. Lieutenant Michael Chen, the ship's lead quantum engineer, approached Aria with a datapad. His normally composed face showed a hint of worry. "Commander, the adaptive shielding is experiencing some unexpected quantum interference. It's almost like something is trying to communicate through our defensive systems." Aria understood what he wasn't saying. The technology they were carrying wasn't just advanced. It was alive in ways humans were only beginning to comprehend. The bridge fell into a tense silence. Each crew member knew fragments of the mission, But no one had the complete picture. That was standard protocol. In a potential combat scenario, limited information protected the mission's core objectives. Outside, the alien fleet continued its methodical approach. The Krell were known for their surgical precision. They didn't just conquer. They dismantled civilizations with calculated brutality. Entire species had been reduced to labor pools or scientific specimens. But humanity was different, unpredictable, resilient. A soft alarm triggered on the communication console. Encrypted data was being transmitted, not from their own systems, but seemingly through them. Something was trying to break through, using the Resolute as a conduit. Lock down all secondary communication channels. Area commanded, her voice steady. I want to know the source of this transmission. Lieutenant Chen's fingers danced across his console. It's not like anything in our database. The quantum signature is wrong. It doesn't follow any known communication protocols. The mystery deepened. Whatever was happening, the Resolute was at the center of something far larger than a simple space battle. Humanity's most critical mission was about to reveal itself, and no one knew exactly what would happen when it did. The quantum interference grew more intense. Electrical systems across the Resolute began to fluctuate. Displays flickered, temperature controls wavered, and for brief moments, the ship's internal gravity seemed to pulse like a living heartbeat. We're losing stability in quantum containment, Chen reported, his voice tight with controlled panic. Sweat beaded on his forehead. Despite the ship's regulated temperature, whatever is trying to communicate is building to something. Area knew they were moments away from a critical point of no return. The archaeological data they carried wasn't just information. It was a weapon, a key, something the Krell would destroy entire civilizations to prevent from being understood. A memory flashed through her mind. Dr. Rodriguez's final briefing before their mission launched. The technology we've discovered isn't just old, she had said. It's a reset button for galactic civilization. The Krell know fragments exist. They'd been hunting these fragments for centuries. The alien fleet outside began to reconfigure. Their energy weapons charged in a synchronized pattern that sent chills down Area's spine. This wasn't a standard attack formation. This was something else entirely. Incoming transmission, called out Lieutenant Sarah Rice from the communication station. But it's not like any transmission we've ever seen. The quantum signature is. It's rewriting our communication protocols in real time. The ship's systems began to respond to something beyond human understanding. Holographic displays shifted, showing fragments of star maps, alien geometries that hurt the eyes if you looked too long. Mathematical equations that seemed to move and breathe, revealing and then hiding complex patterns. Hold position, Area commanded, though she knew they were far beyond traditional military protocols now. Whatever was happening transcended human military doctrine. The Krell ships outside began to change. Their sleek metallic exteriors rippled, as if the very fabric of their vessels was becoming uncertain. Some seemed to phase in and out of normal space, while others appeared to stretch impossibly, defying every known law of physics. Chen's console erupted in a cascade of data. The archaeological fragment is responding, he shouted. It's not just data. It's alive. It's communicating with something. Maybe the Krell ships, maybe something else entirely. Area gripped her command chair. Years of training, months of preparation, had led to this moment. The mission was never about a simple battle. It was about understanding a cosmic secret that could reshape everything humanity knew about their place in the universe. The quantum interference reached a critical point. The Resolute systems began to merge with something external, alien yet familiar, ancient yet immediate. Bridge crew members looked at each other, a mix of terror and anticipation in their eyes. They were moments away from a transformation. No one knew if they would survive what was coming. No one knew if humanity would survive what was coming. The universe held its breath. A sudden burst of static broke the tension, not from the bridge systems, but from a personal communication device tucked away in Area's emergency kit. The device shouldn't have been functional, not with the quantum interference consuming every electronic system on the Resolute. The message was from Dr. Rodriguez, but something was wrong. "They're not who you think they are." The recorded message flickered, Rodriguez's face distorted by waves of digital corruption. "The Krell. The fragment. Everything we believed. It's a lie." Lieutenant Chen spun from his console, face pale. "Commander, I'm detecting a secondary energy signature. It's coming from inside our own ship." The archaeological fragment they'd been protecting wasn't just a piece of technology. It was a trap. Memories crashed through Aria's mind. Months of preparation, countless briefings, secret meetings in underground research facilities. Each moment now seemed suspect, twisted by this new revelation. The Krell fleet outside began to change again. But this time, something fundamental shifted. Their ships weren't just reconfiguring. They were merging, becoming something else entirely. Not a military formation, but a living network of impossible geometries and quantum entanglements. "We've been set up," Aria whispered, the reality of their situation crashing down. The mission wasn't about defense. It wasn't about protecting humanity's secrets. They were the secret. Sarah Rice from communications suddenly went rigid. Her eyes glazed over, reflecting complex mathematical patterns that seemed to pulse with an internal light. "There are more layers," she said, her voice overlaid with something inhuman. More than humanity was meant to understand. The ship's internal structure began to shift. Walls rippled like liquid metal. Corridors extended and contracted in impossible ways. The Resolute was no longer just a vessel. It was becoming something else. Michael Chen's hands flew across his console, desperately trying to maintain some control. "The quantum fragment is rewriting our entire ship's molecular structure. It's not just communicating, it's transforming us." Aria understood then that their mission was never about fighting the Krell. It was about something far more profound. A test, a transformation, a moment of cosmic selection that would determine humanity's true place in the universe. Outside, the alien fleet continued its impossible reconfiguration. But now, Aria realized they weren't enemies. They were part of something larger, something that had been waiting for humanity to reach this exact moment. The universe wasn't what they thought it was, and they were about to find out why. A low hum began to build, not from the ship's systems, not from the alien fleet, but from something deeper, something that existed between the layers of reality itself. They were moments away from understanding everything, and nothing would ever be the same again. The transformation reached its breaking point. Aria felt something fundamental shifting, not just around her, but within her. The quantum fragment wasn't just changing the ship, it was changing them. "We're a seed," Sarah said, her voice a strange harmony of human and something else. "Humanity was never the target. We're the delivery mechanism." The Krell ships outside began to dissolve, their massive hulls breaking down into streams of quantum data that flowed around the Resolute like rivers of light. They weren't destroyed. They were transforming. Dr. Rodriguez's final message played again, now crystal clear. "The universe propagates through consciousness," she explained. "Not through conquest. Through evolution." Michael Chen collapsed, his body outlined by intricate networks of light that seemed to map impossible connections. His mind was expanding, processing information beyond human comprehension. Aria understood then. They weren't fighting a war. They were participating in a cosmic reproduction. Humanity was a carrier, a species designed to spread a fundamental universal algorithm that would reshape entire civilizations. The ship's walls became transparent, revealing layers of reality that had always existed but remained hidden. Entire star systems flickered in and out of existence. Civilizations rose and collapsed in moments. Time itself became fluid. "We choose," Aria realized. The quantum fragment wasn't a weapon. It was a choice, a method of universal communication that transcended physical limitations. The Resolute began to separate, not physically, but dimensionally. Parts of the ship existed simultaneously in multiple realities, carrying fragments of human consciousness like seeds of potential. Sarah's voice came again, no longer entirely human. Some will remember. Most will forget. But the algorithm spreads. In the final moments, Arya saw everything. The countless civilizations that had carried this universal seed. The infinite possibilities of consciousness. Humanity was just one iteration, one moment in an endless cycle of cosmic evolution. But then, something unexpected. A single communication burst through. Not from the quantum fragment, not from the Krell, from somewhere else entirely. A message. Simple, cryptic. Not yet. The universe paused, and then everything reset. Arya blinked. She was back on the bridge of the Resolute. The Krell fleet surrounded them. Nothing had changed, and yet everything had. Days passed. Weeks. The Resolute continued its mission as if nothing had happened. But something fundamental had changed. Arya noticed it first in the small details. Lieutenant Chen's calculations became incrementally more precise. Sarah's communication analyses revealed patterns no human had ever detected before. The crew moved with a synchronicity that went beyond training. Dr. Rodriguez's final transmission haunted Arya. Some will remember. Most will forget. She remembered. Not everything. Just fragments. Glimpses of a reality that existed beyond normal perception. Moments where the universe seemed to breathe, where consciousness stretched beyond the limitations of human understanding. The Krell fleet continued to shadow them. But something had shifted in their approach. No longer aggressive. More observant. As if they were waiting for something. During a routine system check, Arya discovered a hidden data cache in the ship's quantum core. Encrypted. Waiting. She knew instinctively that opening it would change everything again. Michael Chen approached her, a look of understanding in his eyes. Some secrets are meant to be discovered slowly, he said. Not a warning, not an explanation, just a statement of cosmic fact. The archaeological fragment they carried, the one that had seemed so crucial, now felt like nothing more than a placeholder, a temporary container for something much larger. New Terra, their home planet, appeared on their long-range scanners, but it looked different. Subtle changes in geological formations, slight shifts in atmospheric composition. Nothing dramatic. Just different. We're part of something bigger, Sarah said during a late-night conversation in the ship's observation deck, and we'll never fully understand it. Arya watched the stars. They seemed to pulse with a rhythm she was just beginning to comprehend. The universe wasn't what they thought. Humanity wasn't what they believed. They were a process, a method of transmission, a way for something larger to understand itself. The final transmission from Dr. Rodriguez echoed in her mind. Not a message of war, not a message of conquest, a message of potential. We choose, Arya whispered to herself. Outside, the stars continued their ancient dance. The Resolute moved forward. And somewhere, in the vast complexity of existence, something was listening, waiting, watching.